Hello. There we go. Okay.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna turn my sound off. Okay, looks like we are live on LinkedIn. Hey, how is everyone? Let me know when you're here. Okay. How are we doing? Happy Thursday. Let me know in the comments when you guys are here. Just getting everything pulled up right now. Okay, so when you are with me, give me a comment so I know you guys are here. Okay, got Facebook going, got LinkedIn going. Awesome. Hope you guys are doing well. So today I want to continue our conversations on LinkedIn, and I have an update for you on a test that I ran recently that I told you guys about with previously. I think last week I might have mentioned it with my videos and some tests I was doing on LinkedIn. So I have some results I want to share with you guys. And then I also posted a couple days ago on LinkedIn about how asking what your biggest challenge is with LinkedIn. So when it comes to growing your business, and a lot of you commented, and I wanted to discuss that today, touch a little bit on that and give some tips to see if I can help with those challenges. Hey, Greg. Yes, I'm so glad you joined Ambitious Outcomes Live. Hey, Mila, thanks so much. Hey, Chris, how are you guys doing today? Thank you guys for hopping on. Hi, Jazz in the Facebook group. How is everyone? So, thanks for letting me know it's working, Chris. Okay, so first thing that I want to share with you guys is I mentioned last week, I'm trying to center myself a little better here. I mentioned last week how, I think it was last week, how videos were interesting when it comes to engagement, right? So I was finding, hey John, glad you're here as well. I've been posting video snippets. If you guys follow me on LinkedIn, you know this. And historically, my video content hasn't performed as well as my post content. So whether I don't have an image or even if it's a selfie or whatever it is, typically my videos receive less views. And it had been increasing in the fact that that had been happening more and more. So the fact that I've been getting less views on my videos, that's been occurring more and more. So finally, I'm like, we've got to get to the bottom of this. We have to figure this out. And I think I was telling you guys this last week or the week before, because it's a lot of freaking work to make videos, as you guys know. So my process is I typically, I go live every Thursday with you guys. And then when I have time or make time, which I haven't in weeks, so the videos I've been posting are older from lives, a few months ago, but I go and I edit it in Camtasia and I watch me live again and I make these little snippets of video clips that I think would perform well that you guys would like. So it's basically just clips when you guys are joining me live, but just little tiny clips that I make into videos. So what I had been doing is I would post the video itself with the subtitles and I would transcribe it. And then I would kind of describe the video itself in the post, in the LinkedIn post. So you could read it with the subtitles and then you could read it in the post itself. And I was like, well, maybe people aren't watching, and that's why I'm getting lower views on my videos, because they can just read it instead of watching it. And then I was like, well, maybe it has to do with LinkedIn's dwell time, because with the way the LinkedIn's algorithm works now is the longer people engage with your content, the more they're going to show it in the feed. So I was like, maybe I need to have longer videos, because the videos I've been posting have been super short, like 30 seconds. So instead of testing two different things at the same time, because you never want to do that, you only want to test one thing at a time, so you know, in fact, what it is that you need to be working on or improving. What I did on my last video last week, and this is the test result that I want to share with you guys, is it was a super short video, just like my other one, so it was like 30 seconds long, and it had a catchy headline. I'm sure you guys saw it. It was the what to never say to a new LinkedIn connection. And it was a 30-second video, and it was about my pet peeve and how you should never ask for a call right away. And I did not put that in the post itself. So in the post itself, I said it was catchy, and I was like, if you're doing this on LinkedIn, please stop, right? And then it was, watch this 30-second video to find out what it is. So it was kind of like the bait and hook, right? Kind of hooked them in and made them watch it. Guess what? It worked. 10 times more views on that video from last week. As of now, I'm still getting likes and views and comments on it. 10 times more views than my previous video, which spelled everything out for them and they didn't even have to watch it. Hey, Steve. So glad you're here. I thought you were going to be busy today, Steve, but glad to see you on. So that is my experiment for you guys, and I'm sharing my test results for you. So for those of you who are posting videos, couple of key takeaways here to try is making a teaser in there to force them to watch it, not giving them too much information in the post itself, but telling them, making it catchy, that first headline, like, please stop doing this, or whatever it is. That's what I used. And then watch this 30-second video to find out. And then, of course, making a super catchy headline on the video itself, too. Hey, Shell, happy Thursday. So that is what we found with testing. And so we're going to start doing that more and more. I think also the fact that it was a really popular kind of catchy topic that everyone can relate to too, because no one really likes being sold to on LinkedIn, which we'll get into here in a second. That probably had something to do with it. But I think a big part of it was that I didn't spell it all out in the post like I had been doing. And I think that made a big difference. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today in terms of what I discovered from my experiment, if you will, because you guys know I'm always testing and trialing new things. We kind of use my account as like the guinea pig account on LinkedIn before we do things for our clients. So we always test things out ahead of time before testing it on our clients, right? So I'm always, trying new things, and then I come back to you guys and kind of tell you, here's what I found. So that's one of them. So and throughout, you guys feel free to comment and ask me questions about any of this. But another thing I want to discuss is a lot of the struggles on LinkedIn that y'all mentioned this week. So on Monday, I think my post on LinkedIn was, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to growing your business on LinkedIn? And I want to talk about that today. And a lot of them are really similar, right? So a lot of them have to do with, not being salesy and how to get more views on my posts, which I'll discuss all of that today in the next 20 minutes. And then I have some other tips for you too. A couple other things that I learned as well, just recently with the LinkedIn algorithm. Actually, no, I'll wait for that. And then a couple other, just mindset, and this is what you need in order to be successful on LinkedIn. So that's the agenda for today, you guys. Feel free to chime in at any time, leave your feedback. I'll ask you questions too, because I really want to get your take on this and what you guys are experiencing on the LinkedIn front. But before I get into that, just know that the majority of clients that we are landing right now with Mod Girl is from my LinkedIn. It's from us leveraging my LinkedIn, myself personally, and some of my team members that help me, building relationships, connecting with highly targeted individuals using Sales Navigator, and engaging on people's content, and then of course posting my own content consistently. And so LinkedIn is our #1 driver right now for quality leads and new clients. Of course, we get inbound leads coming from our website as well, And sometimes we build relationships on LinkedIn and then they go to our website and fill out a form. So I'm still counting those as LinkedIn, right? Because the relationship originated from LinkedIn. And we do get loads of other leads that are just inbound from SEO and other social channels and referrals and whatnot that we, if they're not a good fit, we refer out to some of our agency partners. But the most, the high quality ones that are our perfect fit that are landing as new clients right now, they are mainly coming from LinkedIn. So everything I'm telling you guys on these Thursday Ambitious Outcomes series, when you're with me right here, everything I'm telling you is from personal experience, and it is working for us literally right now and has been for years. So I just wanted to say that before I get into this, so you guys are aware of that, okay? So I pasted all of the biggest struggles, and I'm not, just for time's sake, because I want to give you guys as much value as I possibly can, always on these Thursdays, as you know. So I'm going to go through and hit on the most important ones, and then if I miss any, I'll come back. But one thing that, this actually came up today in my Remote Agency Society Facebook Live earlier, and the lack of CRM integration. So if any of you want to chime in on this, are any of you using Zapier or anything with LinkedIn in conjunction with LinkedIn? Because as far as I know, from a CRM perspective, it really only directly integrates with Salesforce. LinkedIn does. So a lot of people have workarounds and they're using Zapier and whatnot. We are not. We have tools that we use that kind of act as a CRM for LinkedIn, but it's really, there's really no, and that was one of the challenges, is like no CRM, functionality when it comes to integrating with CRMs, but I don't think there's a whole lot we can do there. So I'm moving on, but I just was curious if you guys have any thoughts on that. And if any of you are using Zapier or any sort of other tool to act as like the middleman between LinkedIn and your CRM. Okay. So this is a big thing too. And this actually goes with some of my tips. So how to get, let's talk about this first. How to get more eyes and engagement on your LinkedIn content and your profile in general. So one thing that I think is very underrated, that a lot of us don't think about, is engaging with other people's content regularly. Engaging with your first degree connections content and even secondary connections content that is relevant in using the same sort of hashtags that you're using. And I'll get into more of this now. So I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, I think, but the way the LinkedIn algorithm works is if you're engaging with people on LinkedIn, especially in LinkedIn Messenger, they are going to show your posts more to those people that you're engaging with. To those people that you have conversations already happening on LinkedIn Messenger, they're going to show your content more to those people, okay? So that's the first thing with the algorithm. The second thing is people, right? So if Steve is engaging with my content and LinkedIn sees that and they show, Steve my content frequently, I am more likely to engage with Steve's content when I see his content. I am much more likely to give it a like or to leave a comment, because it's that rule of reciprocity, that law of reciprocity, right? Like as human beings, if someone does something for us, it is in our nature, unless you're a complete like sociopath, but for the majority of humanity, it is in our nature to reciprocate what they did for us. That's just how we are wired, the majority of us, as human beings. So not only does the algorithm pick up on you engaging with these people in Messenger, on their posts, wherever, but people want to reciprocate. They want to give back the love. So they're going to see your stuff, and because you have been consistently, the key word here is consistent, you guys. You can't do this just once. You can't start engaging with people's content like just one time and then expect them to like your stuff from then on out. It doesn't work that way. You have to be consistent with you and your posting schedule, but everything you do, you have to be consistent. Like, let's get real. In life, you need consistency. But specifically on LinkedIn, you've got to be consistent with your posts and with engaging. So what I recommend is blocking off time. So a lot of people responded. I'm answering multiple questions here at the same time, by the way. So a lot of people responded, how do I get more eyes on my profile, on my content? And then a lot of other people said, how do I manage all of this? Like, and not get distracted and make sure that I'm doing the right things? How do I know that I'm spending my time on LinkedIn doing the right things? And that is where discipline comes in. And I know this is hard, especially for entrepreneurs, because we're mainly ADD, including myself, and like just all over the place, right? Business owners, entrepreneurs, marketers. That's just, it's kind of our nature. We're just like, go, go, go. So what I like to do is time block. And we do this for, we schedule things in certain times for ourselves and our clients, and when certain things get done. So an easy way for you guys to make sure that you're crossing off the buckets when it comes to this is what you need to be doing on LinkedIn, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, however many things you need to be doing. It helps to put it in time chunks. So for example, Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I am going to, post, maybe make a post. And then I am going to those hashtags that I follow, the hashtags on my post that I follow. So you guys should be following, by the way, if you're not doing this already on LinkedIn, you need to go follow your industry hashtags. It's really easy to do. Hey, Will, thanks for hopping on and joining me, TGIT. So follow those hashtags. And then, for example, on Tuesday, block out, 60 to 90 minutes. You make the post. You go and you look at the hashtags for that post and you comment on the most popular hashtag. So let's say, for example, thought leadership is a hashtag that I follow, of course. And let's say I make a post about thought leadership. So I'm going to do my thing with the promotion that we do. And then I am going to go and look at other popular posts from the past 24 hours on thought leadership. And I'm going to leave an insightful comment. Okay. That's going to trigger people seeing my stuff and might click on my profile. Then I might go and engage with first degree connections that are relevant. And I might leave insightful comments. And so, you can break this down even to like, okay, for 15 minutes, I'm going to go and I'm going to comment and I'm going to like first degree connections posts. Okay. 15 minutes every Tuesday, 9 a.m. period, no matter what. And then for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to go and I'm going to, all these hashtags I'm following, I'm going to leave insightful comments on that too. And then for another 15 minutes, I'm going to follow up with people via LinkedIn Messenger. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to reach back out to people in my target market or, just relevant connections. That would be great connections that are great connections that you have. I am going to message them and just see how things are going. So do you see where I'm going with this, you guys? You have to be disciplined. And the easiest way to be disciplined in our business is to put things on your calendar and make yourself do it. Period. Make yourself do it. I have people all the time. They're like, I don't even know how you do it. How do you have all this content? You run a business, you do all these things, and you're on video and you're doing live and you post content every single day. Like, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, my team helps a lot, and automation helps, but having a plan of action too makes a huge difference. When you have a schedule and okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to post. This is what's going to happen every time I post. And then after that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to engage with people. So, I really encourage you guys to chunk out these activities that are important because it is important, especially if your target market is on LinkedIn. If your target market's not on LinkedIn, then obviously do this for some other network, but it's the same concept. So when we put things on our calendar and we time chunk out, we are much more likely to do it than if we're just to say, or even if a note is on today, engage on LinkedIn, Or let's just say it's a mental note. Today I'm going to engage on LinkedIn. Well, guess what happens, you guys, in life? Clients call you, this is my life, right? Client emails, a website crashes, something needs to be approved, someone does something that, needs more people to help on, something else comes up, I forget that I had to do this today. I mean, stuff is coming up all day long. But when you have priorities and you chunk it out, it'll get done. And you just have to let everything else just stay there. It'll be there when you get done, but you guys have got to prioritize these things, okay? That was a little soapbox moment for time management and priority that I didn't really plan to go on that long, but you get my point. So it is key for you guys to engage with other people, okay? First degree connections and secondary connections. Relevant content. Follow hashtags, engage with people consistently because that is how you are going to get your posts seen, one of the many ways. And I'm going to touch on that here in a second. I'm going to read the content. Will says, we use Zoho, but have not looked into an integration. Okay. John says, we integrate with Zapier to Infusionsoft. Oh, good to know, John. How is that working? Integrating Zapier and Infusionsoft. I'm curious to know that. Okay. So, another just content tip for you guys in general that we do all the time. And my team is really good at reminding me of this too. That's why it's really great to hire smart people. Using you and your instead of I. This goes for any content. We were writing for clients, writing emails for LinkedIn. We tend, as human beings, to write content and it's coming from our perspective. So it's natural for us to say I and me, or I did this, or I've discovered this. What you want to try to do, you guys, is every time you're writing something, an email, email happens to me all the time. I go and I read the email and I'm like, hot damn, I just used I 4 times in a row. And I started my sentence with I 4 times in a row. That is awful. So I'll go back and I'll reword it, or I'll send it to my team. And I'm like, how can I reword this so it says you and your? So this is really important because you want people to know that you are talking to them and you are giving them valuable tips that are going to help them specifically. So this even goes for your website content, you guys. You should try to incorporate you and variations of you into everything you write. And try to remove the I as much as you can. Unless you're literally telling a personal story and it ties in. I mean, obviously use your best judgment when I'm telling you guys this. You know what I'm talking about though. So try to approach it from them. Like you are speaking directly to them. That's going to make your content stand out too. Like that video that I just told you that blew up last week. The video on if you're doing this right now to your LinkedIn connections, please stop. This is a perfect example, you guys. I didn't even plan on this. I love how things work out. That's a perfect example of probably one reason why that posted really well. I didn't say, here's what I found doesn't work well to send to new connections. If I would have said that, I guarantee you that video would not have blown up. But because I worded it with, if you're doing this right now to new connections, please stop. And guess what? The title of the video headline said, what you should never send to new connections, or something, what you should never do to a new connection. So I am using those words you, and human beings, we are more likely to stop and look at something when it uses the word you versus I. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? So that's another tip I have for you too. That goes along with pretty much anything you write. Same with cold emails. This is huge in cold emails too. When you use you and not I, you really, if you guys are leveraging cold emails, you really want to try to avoid using I as much as you possibly can. I mean, when you're introducing yourself, yeah, maybe. But try to incorporate the you. Okay, so moving on. I'll come back to that one. Okay, so a lot of people also said, with going back to the struggles with LinkedIn here, what I'm helping you guys with, a lot of people also said, how do I, first of all, get people to engage and respond? And secondly, how do I come across as not, excuse me. Oh, I have something in my throat. Give me a second. How do I come across as not spammy? So how do I strike up a conversation and possibly move it to a sales conversation? How do I do all of that without coming across as spammy or salesy? Because the last thing you want to do is come across as an annoying salesperson just trying to get a sale on LinkedIn, right? That doesn't work. So last week, I think I gave you guys the template. I verbalized the template that we use at ModGirl for our LinkedIn messages. But the bottom line is you have to always come from a place of value, strike up conversation, and be hitting multiple people. And what I mean by that is you've got to be leveraging LinkedIn on a consistent basis to build relationships and build connections consistently with multiple people every single day. Or time chunk it, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whenever you want to do it, whatever you have the time for, you have to be consistent with it because a lot of this, you guys, is a numbers game. So my tip for one is just keep doing it. Don't stop. You have to be consistent. You can't get frustrated if, for a week, no one responds to your message. You have to just keep going. But if no one's responding, then you maybe need to look at your messaging too, because it probably isn't resonating with them. So a simple way with new connections is to just say, you know, hi, first name, thanks so much for connecting. If there's anything I can help you with regarding XYZ, please let me know. This is what I do. I help XYZ do XYZ. Do you need any help with this is one thing, or let me know if you need help with this, or let me know when you're ready for help with this. Something like that, and then you just leave it like that. So it's coming from a place of value, and then you're saying what you do at the same time. And it's super short. This is a super short message. This isn't something that you guys have to write like 2 paragraphs on, because it is never gonna get seen. And then wait to see if they respond. Some will, some won't. I'm good right now, thanks. And then if they don't respond, hit them again in a week from now and say, hey, first name, we connected last week. So glad we connected. Send them another message. Let's say, go to their LinkedIn profile and look at one of their most recent posts, or look at where they went to school, or find something that you can personalize and mention in that next message if they don't respond. If it's a good prospect, obviously, or good, you know, target connection. So, sorry, I was reading comments. So that is, you know, you have to be consistent too. So for example, we were talking about cold email earlier on my Facebook Live, and, you know, someone was asking like, okay, I sent out this first cold email and no one responded. What do I do? Keep emailing them. You guys have got to be consistent in everything you do, from sending new connection requests to posting content to responding to people to messaging them. You guys cannot expect that you're going to land new customers just from messaging them on LinkedIn one time or even 2 times. And you can't expect you're going to land new customers just from cold emailing people one time. You've got to be consistent. You have to keep messaging them and have to keep emailing them. And don't be annoying about it. Just be, touch base. I think I mentioned this last week, but a lot of my follow-ups are literally, hey, first name, how's it going? Hey, first name, how are things? I do that all the time. Obviously, there's other things that we do follow-up wise, but a lot of people need multiple touch points before they even respond to you. So you guys have got to be consistent and realize that this is a numbers game, and you just have to keep doing it, okay? Richard said, is the A manual hard copy you can send me? I'm a 75-year-old non-techie. Hey, Richard, thanks so much for joining and hopping on. Kelly says, that's what I do every morning. Post, read, and respond. Yes, Kelly, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Good, I'm so glad to hear that. So, consistency is key. And that kind of brings me to, and when you're coming from a place of value and you guys aren't trying to pitch, you're literally just asking if like, this is what I do, let me know if I can help you. And even if they don't, say yes, and you feel like you're a really good client, a week later, you could go to their website, or you could go, obviously this doesn't work for every profession, I understand that, but you could go and find something and give them a customized, like, valuable tip coming from a place of value again, and just shoot them a message and just stay in front of them. And that's why content is so important too, because it allows you to stay in front of those people, which my tip here, another LinkedIn algorithm tip that I just learned, speaking of content, sorry, I kind of just like went on to the next one without stopping for a breath even. Let me back up. So that is my tip on how to, and I have 2 minutes left, on how to get people to respond to you without being salesy, okay? Introduce yourself, ask how you can help, say what you do, and then again, see if they need help with it, and then continue on. And then find common ground too. If it's someone you really want to work with, find common ground, creep on them. Go to their Instagram if you can't find anything on their LinkedIn, but don't be like totally creepy about it, right? But like, there's a lot of ways that we can customize emails and customize LinkedIn messages if we really want to work with people. And again, you have to keep staying in front of them. So be consistent, keep messaging, keep emailing, just don't be annoying. Okay, next thing. So the see more button on LinkedIn content also is a trigger for the algorithm. And we can talk about this more next week. But when people click that see more button, LinkedIn is paying attention to that because people want to engage with your content. So I'm guessing they probably lumped that into the dwell time, where people spend more time on your content. And so that is having another way, a lot of questions, a lot of struggle with how to get people, to view your content. Another way to do it is to be really catchy and smart with it. So have catchy headlines. That very first sentence is so important. You want the first sentence and then like the second sentence after that to be so compelling that people are forced to click that dang see more button, right? That sounds funny, like a name or something, see more. So 3 things that people are attracted to: grit, wit, and it when it comes to LinkedIn. So, and I say people are attracted to, but what makes people successful on LinkedIn, okay? Having the grit, which is perseverance and keep going, don't stop. The wit, which is the witty, like that video I was telling you about that blew up last week of mine, right? And being witty about how you are framing things in your messaging, okay? Being creative, tying things together that maybe aren't usually tied together. So that's the wit. And then it, that's just the charisma factor, that it factor, right? And you don't have to be a superstar or a supermodel to have the it factor. You just have to portray your passion, your zest for life, your passion for what you do and helping people. That's that it. So grit, wit, and it are 3 things that I just actually heard on a video from a LinkedIn influencer. And I was like, yes, that is true. And I wanted to share that with you guys. So, I mean, the bottom line of this, you guys, is you have to be consistent in what you're doing. You have to be smart in your content and give people what they want. And you have to never stop building relationships and adding new connections on LinkedIn. And you have got to come from a place of value and not be spammy, period. Don't ask for the sale. Don't ask to get on a phone call on the first message. Just don't do it. Ask if you can help. Tell people a really quick line about what you do and how you can help. See if they need help and then go from there. And then if the conversation, if they're like, yeah, I'm interested, then you can ask, okay, awesome. Do you want to hop on a 15-minute phone call next week? Always go for the quick, time frame when it comes to phone call. But, these are just, some high level, a recap of what we went over today that is kind of, the multiple layers it takes to succeed on LinkedIn. And that's what I'm here to help you guys with, okay? So, a reminder, when you comment on these LinkedIn live sessions, you will be entered to win a mini LinkedIn makeover. And I just wrapped up one that I need to send the final touches on and send it to her for the winner last month. And I have a lot of awesome tips for her, and I'll get her feedback on it so I can share it with you guys. So all you have to do is comment and join me on these LinkedIn lives every Thursday, and I will enter you in the drawing to win the mini LinkedIn makeover. And then I am also going to have a special guest for you guys in a couple weeks. My friend Bill, who is a genius when it comes to thought leadership. So we're going to be talking to you guys and giving you guys some awesome tips on just thought leadership in general and answering your questions about that, and really giving you some insights on, how you guys can build your thought leadership in an effective way to grow your business. So that is what we're talking about. I also have a couple of other ideas that I will post probably in a post for you guys to get more topics and themes here for you on these weekly lives, but that should do it. So I hope you guys found these tips helpful, and I hope you start going out there and making things happen and being consistent and, realizing that there is a gold mine here on LinkedIn and there is so much opportunity. You just have to be consistent and you have to be disciplined and make yourself do it, just like Kelly mentioned. Okay? So thank you guys as always so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. And I will see you next week. Same place, same time. Okay? See you guys.